Good evening. By my time, I am late because I said I was coming at 7:30. 7:30 is now gone, so let me just get right into it. I have here several books. One, this one. I need to know how to flip the image so that it doesn't give you a mirror image. I don't know for that. If somebody knows, please tell me. But this one is the pot fish and the worry wheel. I think I am a combination of both the pot fish and the worry wheel. But I'm also some other things. So anyway, I'm gonna get right into this story. Hello there, wheel. Oh, look at me starting from page 2, and that's what I see in real life, you know. Can't wait. So Mr. Fish was quite excited. There's a party to attend. With gift in hand, he headed out, then bumped into a friend. Hello there, Wheel, he said. We're off to the same place. But his friend did not look happy. There was worry on her face. Is something wrong? Asked Mr. Fish. I'd like to help, if so. It's the party, answered Wheel. I do not want to go. Is worry even bigger than a whale? I told them I was coming, but then I got to thinking of countless things that might go wrong, and now my tummy's sinking. What if it's too crowded? No one wants to play. What if I feel out of place and don't know what to say? Mr. Fish was understanding. Sometimes I worry too. Worry tells us stories, but not all of them are true. So take a great big breath with me to soften worry's voice. Then pick one thing, just one, to try. A tiny little voice. Willa thought this over. I could go for just a start. If all my worries do come true, I know I can depart. With plan in mind, the two good friends continued on their way. Deep breaths and conversation helped keep worried thoughts at bay. Closer to the party, Willa's worry started churning, but then she heard, "You've got this," and she felt her calm returning. Willa didn't talk a lot. Ooh, my bad. The place was loud and crowded, but she found a comfy space. She watched her friends and played a bit, less worry on her face. Maybe worry isn't bigger than a whale. Willa didn't talk a lot. She felt a little shy, but that's okay, she coached herself. I only have to try. But all at once, her peace of mind upended in a burst. The time had come for singing. Oh, and singing is my worst. What if I'm too squeaky, off-key, and awfully rude? What if I forget the words? What if I get booed? Worry growing bigger, even bigger than a whale. A flood of worried thinking cascaded through her head. It nearly overwhelmed her, but she made a plan instead. She turned and said to Mr. Fish, I'm going to try one note. If I get stuck, I'll hum instead. I'll let the music float. So Willa tried. She sang her note. The voices joined as one, and Willa Whale enjoyed herself. This party has been fun. Worry tells us stories, but not all of them are true. So when worry swims inside me, there are things that I can do. I can find a friend to talk to, then breathe and make a plan, and choose a tiny step to take. Believe and know I can. Because worry isn't bigger than a whale. That was the first story tonight. The pot fish and the worry whale. I like it. Let me see what I have here. I have my little book of mermaid stories and my Aesop's fables. I didn't choose a story from Aesop's fables because me just done work a while ago. So I'm going to read instead my little book of mermaid stories. The Mermaid Ball. Melody and June were best friends. While Melody loved to sing and dance, June was shy. June much preferred writing poems in her notebook. She thought performing on stage would be her worst nightmare. It was the day of the Mermaid Ball. Melody had been asked to perform and June was busy helping her to get ready. They brushed Melody's hair, put on her costume, and soon it was time for one last rehearsal. But when Melody opened her mouth to sing the song she had been practicing all week, nothing came out. "What's the matter?" asked June, worried. But Melody couldn't answer. She had lost her voice. "Melody," called Alana, the mermaid in charge of the ball. "All the guests have arrived and it's time to start your show." June explained that Melody had lost her voice. "Oh dear," said Alana. "Then you will have to perform instead." June froze. She couldn't perform in front of all those mer people. She would be far too scared. Just then, June felt Melody push something into her hand. It was her notebook full of poems. June stepped onto the stage and cleared her throat. She opened her book with trembling hands and read her poems to the crowd. All the mermaids loved them. Melody hugged her friend as she left the stage. "Perhaps performing isn't such a nightmare after all," June said. And that was the story taken from my little book of mermaid stories. And so I'm not going to do a lot because it's been a long time since I didn't read any story. And I have to get back into it too myself. But I like these two. The pout fish and the worry whale are both very familiar. And I thought pout fish meant it was always pouting and miserable, and then the worry whale was worrying. But no, it turns out the pout fish was actually quite upbeat. And I, Chrissy Jones, and so I still am sometimes the pout fish because I'm quite upbeat sometimes, but sometimes I am the worry whale. And all of us have some time when we're the worry whale. But as you can see in the story, by taking one simple step, one simple small step, the whale overcame the worrying. And that applies to us too. One small step at a time. Even the biggest obstacle can be circumvented one step at a time. Just one step. Robin, 17-mile post, big up yourself. Yeah, I'm almost back to normal. And reading the stories, I just want to say that, guys, I say it all the time. If you've ever heard me read online, then you must have heard me say why I do it. But just in case you haven't, let me tell you again. And for those who come by after when I post. I do this to encourage and invite people to read bedtime stories to their kids, to their children. I think it is a good way. I am hearing myself saying a lot of that is not normal for me. It is a good way for parents to connect with children. It's a good way to create a space, for you and your child or children that is exclusively yours. That bedtime bonding space when they're sleepy and vulnerable and needing the attention and the affection. This is your best, I think. I'm not a professional and I don't profess to be, but I am human and I have been a small child too, and I think that is one of the most vulnerable times and one of the easiest times to connect, when the children really crave that affection and attention. And I'm not giving instructions, I'm just making a suggestion. Maybe, just maybe, you can jumpstart that bonding process. If you haven't yet done so, then reading a story to your child is a good way to do that. It is not enough. Listen, I am tired of coming online and mourning together with everybody. I'm tired of us mourning together over stuff that went wrong with our children. I really, really want to be a part of what went right with our children. With your children, and they're all our children. We create the environment that we want to live in. And as I grow older and reach retirement and eventually become indigent, I want to feel safe and comfortable in a world that we created right now. That we created through empowering and inspiring the younger humans who are coming up to improve on what we were. Because we're not going to sit down and pretend so we get it right. We didn't get everything right, and it's okay, but we need to not pretend that we did. We're not going to start shouting, scream instruction at the young people, because most of the instructions we scream, we didn't get them right either. You know, it's we preach from the podium of hindsight, and it is very irritating and it turns people off. Right now, when your children are young, when they are babies, read to your picnic in a belly. So that when your picnic come out, reading is already something normal to your child. And trust and believe that they can hear you in the belly. You have to know this. This is not me making it up. Read to them when them come out. Play nice soothing music to them. For make them relax. For jumpstart the thought process. Even from in the belly. Have them thinking nice things. Say nice things to your children. Breathe really good life into them. Hug them. Tell them you love them. And your picnic, you should do it. You're supposed to do it. Your responsibility for make them know say love real and exists. And don't make them be jaded like me. Don't make them grow up to be like tough like buckram like me. You don't want your kid to grow up and see the worst possibilities in everything. You don't want them to focus on that. I don't think that is in our best interest. I would really love to be a part of whatever inspiration, whatever source of inspiration brings you to create a stronger bond with the children. Hey Ricardo, big up. However you get to that point. I mean, if you get to it by yourself, then kudos, more power to you. Really and truly, I just want you to get there. But if I can be a part of it, then I am very happy to do so. It would be nice if just by sitting here and talking, somehow you feel inspired to do that, if you haven't already started. Hopefully you already started and you'll be like, what the hell should I talk about? That's an everyday thing for me. I'm happy with them. And the reason why I do it at this time in the evening, because if you are in the same time zone as I am, then this is about time when you're tucking your kids into bed, right? It's about time. I am one of the people who talk about the things that I have a problem with. There shouldn't be anybody here who don't know that. If you're here, you must know that. I don't mince words. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't bite my tongue. I don't put my mouth aground. I don't hide and talk when I have a problem with things. And it puts me at odds with a lot of people. And they're not all bad people. They're not all bad people. Just because we disagree doesn't make you a bad person. We can have the same intention. We can want the same thing, but have a different thought process that brings us through a different process. And maybe we don't both get there. Maybe you get there and I don't. Maybe we both get there by taking different routes. But the fact that we disagree is not a good enough reason to have a war. I don't want to war with nobody no more. I don't. And we can sit here, so vulnerable. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. We can sit here all day, every day, and point out, good evening, Shadow, big up Sims. We can sit here every day and point fingers at all the problems. We don't need to do, because all of us know the problems. And pointing at the problems that has been going on forever, and that don't fix no problem. But maybe if we just bypass all these problems that we can't fix and move towards creating an environment that doesn't start out with the same problems, like maybe if we can head them off at the pass by focusing on the kids, just directly focus on the children. Because to be honest with you, the old people them lost. We, up our generation, we and beyond, lost and can't be helped. Lost causes. So I think a better way to spend energy and time and effort is to focus on the children, to give them the opportunities that we never had. And by giving them opportunities, I don't mean to shower them with material things and make them egotistical and make them narcissistic. I mean giving them the opportunities to achieve peace that we never had. I point at the problem and suggest suggestions. Today when I did, the parent looked at me like them want tell me to leave them alone. The children send me up the wall when I try. Alright, so I figured it was when I tried. May I thought correctly. The thing is, you know, it is human to react the way you do, Melissa. It's human to react the way you do, because we have feelings, we're people, we have emotions too. But this is why teachers and people who work in similar capacities have to study psychology, because you have a greater responsibility to be understanding, to be a pacifier. You have a greater responsibility to be able to negotiate a solution. You have to be better at conflict resolution than majority of us when it comes to our professional capacity, you know. And I personally think every single human should be taught, should practice understanding the psyche of other humans. We should. Psychology should be something taught in primary school, informally perhaps, or lightly woven into other subjects, but understanding each other, what makes us tick, and understanding how to de-escalate tension should be something that we're taught at a very young age. It should be something that's natural to us, that's ingrained in us from a very young age. It should be. However, it is not. Parents don't socialize their children to be peacemakers. So by the time they get to you in school, you have one whole herd of orangutans. I don't know what the collective name for orangutan, but that you get at school when we send them come to you with the bad brook and the nano manners and the spoiled rotten and the little spoiled brats come to you. Well, unfortunately, that's the job you have. So it is really important, it's very necessary for you to be trained in the art of taking it. Honestly, yes. And you're not taking it for the parents, you know. Don't feel like you're doing this for some bad parents who never raised them pitney right. No. You literally are in the job of nation building. So, if nation building is not something that you feel inclined to invest yourself in, then don't take that job. And it's not even just about loving picnic. It's not just about loving picnic. It's not just about the good night, Maui. It's not just about being a fun-loving adult who actually likes to hang around with kids. The restorative practice approach. Cool. It's about understanding the need to create more productive humans and more peaceful humans and humans who are committed to a better outcome for all of us. Then this is the real end game for teachers, for people who are creating, who are helping to mold or to guide young people into adulthood. So it's really important that you actually be committed to the outcome. Otherwise you feel frustrated at your job, because then you keep feeling like these kids are so these kids are so rude. But me give you a different perspective on the kids. When the children come to you and they don't have a lot of knowledge, they come to you for knowledge. So you teach them. Some of them also don't have a lot of discipline. They come to you, they come to you for finishing. They come to you for molding. That is literally a job. And sometimes you get mad when you have a lot of molding to do, but molding is literally a job. Now, picture say you have a helper. You get a housekeeper to help you with your housework because you're on the grind all the time. You don't have time to be home to keep house. So you get a housekeeper. And then your housekeeper come in and your housekeeper complains and the place dirty. That is the entire reason why I employed you, for help me with that. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make me any more of a person. I am less of a person because I need help. I'm not managing on my own, and that's why I got you. So for you to then say, Lady, house dirty, it's really, really ridiculous. But that's what you do when you say kids are bad behavior or the kids saying dunce. That is what you're doing. You're saying, you're the housekeeper saying, Lord, in nasty because in house dirty. No, in nasty because in house dirty. In have the time or the patience or the dedication or whatever it is, and it just so happens so they can afford to pay you. And that is why they call you. To make the house less dirty so they're not nasty. Because if they were, they wouldn't call you. And literally, that make them call you. So if you complain, then you're complaining that you have a job. Likewise, teaching the children. If the picnic them bad broke, no complain about it. Just try come up with a new plan. Come up with a new program, because every single sound and action out of them is a cry for help. Every single thing they say and do is communication. For you to learn their language so that you can know what exactly they're requesting from you and provide it. Instead of complaining all the time. And the kids, they're much easier to deal with than the adults. So if you can't deal with the kids, how you go manage the adults? What are you doing on earth? I mean, I criticize your ability to do your job. You know? I'm just to try to offer a different perspective. Today I went to pick up my youngest child and he was sleeping and another child hit him while trying to wake him up. Another parent saw it and started to berate the child. I told her to stop. Yeah, them are simple things where adults don't work out yet. But do remember, you know, we are works in progress. We haven't got it right yet. His intent was not to hurt my child, but to wake him up. We sometimes ignore the intent. But when they're small children, adults really need to stay out of small children business. When they're interacting with each other, unless we see some learned bad behavior that is actually destructive, they work things out better than we do, you know. And them pass through them little discrepancies and quick them over there so I hug up and kiss. I'm proud of my job. It's hard at times, but I would do it again. I want to make a change and I applaud you for that. Thanks. Sometimes these children don't know that there is a world that exists with wonderful human beings. How them for know? All them sees people beat them up all day every day. People are telling them say them chat too much. People are telling them say them bad and they're rude and them are going to turn broke kitchen. And it's so easy for us to say something negative to any human. Like, just think about it. Let me tell you my experience in my environment where I live in Jamaica. I am a Jamaican, born in Jamaica, spent most of my life living in Jamaica, right? And my experience in Jamaica has been, if I compliment another woman, I can promise you this, depending on her level of awareness or her level, depending on how she's socialized, majority of Jamaican women are not prone to accepting compliments from each other. It's not something we used to, not socialize away there. So I have complimented women and say, oh my God, you look so good. And then think me I look them. Like, the fault, there's no fault with anybody, by the way. I shouldn't say the fault. But if there is something wrong, then it has to be wrong with you. If I say, and I'm not expecting anything. I'm not expecting thanks. I definitely am not looking for friendship because I'm really not friendly like that. But I feel like just the same as how we could have stand up and say, we say negative things all day, every day to each other and about each other. Just like we can do that. Why not put a smile on somebody's face by complimenting? And it's not like I'm lying. If I see somebody with a bum ass hairstyle, I'm going to be like, yo, damn, I love your hair. I love gray hair. I really love like silver gray hair. And I love looking at older women with some, older women would just look like them reach the age where them realize, say, this is bullshit. I opt out of all of this bullshit. And them just have a peace where radiate from their skin. I like that. I see it as something to aspire towards. So when I see them, I usually compliment. Because I genuinely like it. It's not something that we're socialized to do. I not grow up with a whole perfection. I did not. And it made me kind of tough. I don't want my kid to be like that. I don't want to wish that for your children. As an adult, I force myself out of it. And at some points, depending upon the closeness with me and people, I'm actually very mushy. Very, very mushy. Depending upon the level of closeness. Or attachment, intimacy, whatever. But the way we turn out as adults is something that can be affected and is being affected. It's just that we not consciously choose for deliberately do it in a way where you have only a gray hair. Keep them tears. He's an old man. You're a Ricardo, you sound like a man. I said I like to see gray hair on older women. I don't give a shit, boy. The today do Jason, big up yourself. Jason, my mushroom, sir. Sure. Anyways, I can't say that because I never did come and I did call you. So when I come to Kingston, I tell you. But, Ricardo, old man, go away. Oh God, Jason, I don't read my story and sit down here and chat. I know foolishness though. Me really I want very optimistic person. Mrs. Ricardo try a thing, but no, you can't blame a man for try, but it's futile. You're not gonna do that. It's a top waste of time. Make we have a constructive conversation instead. Me actually I find myself being pessimistic sometimes. And I think when I'm feeling pessimistic, I tend to attack the thing that inspired, the thing that I attached those feelings to make me pessimistic. I tend to attack it. So whether it be government overreach, whether it be mistreatment of the collective, whether it be making bad decisions or making see now going away but bad places. Attacking those things really don't create a solution. It raises awareness among more people. And don't get it twisted enough. As many people as you see cuss me for chat too much, way more people thank me for talk as much as I do. Way more. So it raises awareness, but it doesn't create solution. So I would like us to move forward from the raising awareness. We are aware. Who here doesn't know that we have problems? We all know that we have problems. So we don't need to talk about the problems no more. What we need to figure is a solution. And I think that if we're talking about the decay of society, as old people love to bemoan, and they've been doing that since before me born, and they will continue to do it after me gone. But I don't think there's any decay in society. First of all, I'm older now. I don't agree with everything young people do, but it's not my job to agree with everything young people do. It is not my place to agree with everything young people do. And they don't need to please me. They don't need to please me. So my problems don't lie with where this generation is. And me just want to make it clear. Say, me not there, so I'll be more on the fact that young people are participating in activities that I don't approve of. Because I am not the standard bearer. I am not the boss of them. Them a live for them life. It seem like I made my mistakes. They are now making theirs. I only pray that they don't make any mistake that can't be corrected easily or that they can't live with. That is it. Because we all make mistakes. And adults, stop acting like you don't know everything about everything. Because you're right at this very moment still getting it wrong. You know? Nobody can give relationship. Nobody gives advice on intimacy and sexual activities like a woman who's been through so much. Like, stop it. We know you. We remember you. Alright, so now you found Jesus and we're happy for you. We are. Now you found the Lord and you found a husband and you've settled down and you've decided that, iceberg, big up to himself, you have decided that things you used to do, you do them no more. And that's nice. And we are all cheering for you. We're your groupies. We're your cheerleaders. We want you to win. But you know what? Not all of us are headed in the direction of your husband and your happiness. We want our own. And my happiness does not look the same as yours. Right? A good time may reach, she find Jesus. Me? Jesus last? 1 hour and a half him. So me never look for him because me expect saying supposed to see him if I don't have him. But we gonna be alright. Jesus or no. And what we're talking about here, you know, you're like one of the 7 blind men who approach the elephant. You hug up the trunk and now you say, an elephant is like a tree. Because you just walk in here, me say, one sitting. Me say, you're not even hear what me say about Jesus, you just hear the name Jesus, and there you are. There you go. My love when is entertaining. But trying to change things kind of, I can't see the possibility of that happening. Chrissy says, I still want to be a hoe. I beg them not to preach to me. And Chrissy, you have the right. You have the right. If it is your prerogative to be a hoe, then be a hoe. Right? You can do that if you want. And this is, you know, there's no moral bias attached to me saying that. There is no emotional attachment to your outcome. So when I say that, I'm not saying that that's the best thing for you. Neither am I saying it's the worst thing for you. I'm not saying anything about it. I'm saying you have the right. It's your you. You can do with your you whatever you wish. When you get to other people's personal space, then you draw the line. Yeah, Chrissy, me know say you know, but me have to clarify for them because we know. And I know you ain't no damn hoe. You just saying that. But me have to clarify for the others. Youngie, hey. I have to clarify for the other people and who don't know me in person. What are we discussing tonight? I actually read 2 stories. I read 2 stories and this I'm trying to start reading. I'm trying to restart reading stories at 7:30 in the evenings. To invite and encourage parents to read stories to their children. It is my hope that becomes, especially Jamaican culture. Oh gosh, more want that to be our culture. I would love that to be a part of our culture. I'm sorry if I try to project my desires onto everybody, but Lord, honestly, it's a good thing. It's a good encroachment by your space and your preference. It's a good encouragement. Just take it. Hug up your picnic and just hug up your picnic. May I beg you for hug up your picnic and chops them up and tell them say you love them and say you're pretty and you're handsome and you're cute and you're sweet and you're nice. And tell them so they can be anything with them dream of. Because that is what creates the ability to do anything that they dream of. The knowledge that they can do it. It is, Keisha. It is. And you see, our children grow up. We were the children of our parents' generation. We were the children they gave birth to, and they limited us. They imposed their limits. You see, every fear what them have, them use it for build a ceiling for we. Them use for them fears and insecurities and inferiorities and build some ceiling give we. Well, we have to spend the time when we could have spent a climb, we have to spend it a tear down ceiling. So by the time we don't tear down the ceiling, old age drop down, gone. Right? And then we're picking them grow up and put back the ceiling. Because that's what we taught them to do. We never did show them and tell them, so, hey, I tear down this when my appearance could continue, help me. When I finish doing this, keep the work going. Keep tearing down the ceiling until there is none. You know? But we inherit our parents' fears. We inherit our parents' biases, insecurities. I didn't grow with my mom telling me she loved me, but I knew she did. Now I tell my kids every second I can and hug them up. Yeah, because listen, I don't know if I'm gonna say we all knew our parents loved us. I don't know if I can say that because I don't know that every parent loves their children. I don't know. What I do know is, what I do believe is that it is wrong or unfair for us to leave it up to our children to assume that we love them. Me grow rough, and the life I had, I was conscious of not wanting to pass it down. Yeah, Keisha. Hey, listen, every affection when me did want and never get, me smother the hell out of my picnic. Me squeeze it out of her. Every hug me never get from my brother, me get it from my daughter. Me hug him to pieces, me hug her to a pulp. She have to back me off her. She have to tell me, back up in a real life. And I'm not saying that I am the prototype. Trust me, I'm not. I make enough mistake. Continue to. Making mistakes is a part of life. But in the process of demanding more from the next generation, we have to see us giving more as a part of that process, as the beginning of that process. Before we start demanding, first invest. You know? First we validate them. We validate them like a poor little ego just to develop. Blazing Radio, I love you too. When the little ego just to develop, the little, you know, them just to try to build some self-worth, and you get up every day and tell them, watch him to know. You swear you're a man, and list out all of the negative things that you can think of, for cut them down to size. To what size? Whose size are you trying to cut them down to? If your child is standing at his or her size, whose size you cut them down to? Whose? Why you want to shrink your picnic? All me a beg, please. Bless up Good Dog Farms. All I'm begging is just read a bedtime story to your child. Tanya, this is so nice. I did it to my 4 children, even though she still has my book of Bible stories, and she will be 36 in July. I encourage her to read to her daughter now, even though she's just months. Yes. No, listen. I start reading to my daughter when she's in my belly. My mom said she loved me a lot, but she also was very abusive. The love language was confusing to me as a child. I tried very hard to always say and show my kids that I love them. Thank you so much, Christy. On behalf of all of us, thank you, because You know, we have this, we convince, or we've managed to convince ourselves for forever that we are separate and that we are individual. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, I fight violently to maintain my autonomy, right? I fight. But the reality is that outside of our personal space that is ours, that belongs to you, you know, your personal space belongs to you to do what you're pleased with. And I must leave you alone and respect your personal space. And where your human rights begin, mine must end, so that we don't encroach on each other. Outside of that, we have to understand that we are sharing space. So even though each component of the machine is an individual component, all the parts go together to make the machine run. So we are one. This is we get the individual part right, but then we kind of fall off when it comes to understanding the collaborative effort, the collective outcome. We get that horribly wrong. And it's aided by things like democracy, you know, and majority rule. Majority rule is a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Whoever came up with that was a horrible person. Because you can't possibly think just because 10 of you agree on this bad thing, 2 of us should suffer with you. It doesn't make sense. We have to bring back critical thinking, and we have to have a system based on trying to tick as many boxes as we can, instead of trying to soothe as many egos as we can, instead of, you know, taking instructions from as many self-important people as we can. We should be, all our systems should be geared at accommodating the least, the tiniest, the most mute. Our system should be geared at protecting the vulnerable, the weakest link. But we feel miserable at that. We really feel. And sometimes we have some conversation, and I've been, over the last few months, I've been doing way more observing and less participating in some of these conversations, because when I'm a part of the conversation, I get that it is jarring, but when I'm not a part of it, I almost I drop dead from shock and fright. Like, Jesus, it's even worse than I thought I was hearing. When you just step back and look at it, it's way worse. And now we get to the point where I don't want to look at all. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it, because I can't make you think any different. I can't affect the outcome of what you're saying and doing. I can't. And watching you do it is only harmful to me. It's harmful to me. So if I can't change the outcome, if I can't impact the damage that you're doing in any way, then what would be the point of me actually watching? Unless I'm a masochist. But I have to be a stickler for pain, for sit down and watch you and be in pain and can't do nothing, and then be tempted for jumping at the conversation so that me can be further traumatized because you're going to say something. When we get to that point now, you're just debating. You don't even care about the topic anymore. Now you just want to win the argument. Too many of you want to win the argument. So you say anything. This is how you find the supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party. When I criticize the work, the actual performance, the professional performance of the Prime Minister, you find the Jamaica Labour Party supporters jumping on me and telling me that I didn't get raped badly enough. What does that have to do with the Prime Minister performance? Because they're not committed to an outcome, you know. They're not committed to the best outcome for the collective, you know. They're committed to their side. These are people who are steeped in bias and have been so tribalized for so long that they don't even know they are anymore. They don't know they are. When the GLP, PNP culture, the Republican Democrat culture, all of these political cultures that we have been brainwashed into suggest that this is some kind of a competition. This is not a competition, you know. It's not on my side win, your side lose, you know. It is As long as a side lose, we all lose because we can only win together. If the system doesn't work for all of us, it doesn't work for any of us. And let me explain that, because some of you are going to debate that too. One thing we often forget: our children are human beings too, full of thoughts, feelings, and voices of their own. When we impose outdated ways of being or project how we were raised, we risk. Yes. And that can be summed up in one phrase: children must be seen and not heard. It's weird. But check this. If in your environment, you're doing well, you're thriving, you have food, you eat a food, 15 hungry man around you, now eat no food, what do you think is going to happen to you? How long do you think morals and ethics will hold them at bay? How long? How long? And I'm not understanding now. I not attach no bias to either side of that situation. I'm not committed. I'm not attached to any side. The reality is that if you constantly fed, like you have this, we have this ego-driven, materialistic worldview. It's like we genuinely feel like we can possibly win alone. You can't though. You honest to goodness can't. You just simply can't. And even the idea of winning is a dangerous one as far as the collective is concerned. The idea of winning is dangerous. Really, really dangerous. Because for you to win, somebody has to lose. And when it comes to the socio-economic state of your country, nobody should be losing. Obviously, I don't think that everybody is going to be equal. There's no such thing. Equality is a myth. You can't have that. But nobody should be losing. There shouldn't be anybody in society hungry. I feel like every time somebody goes hungry, by no fault of their own, somebody else should be made to pay for that. Why them hungry? Who failed? We education system have failed, we healthcare system have failed. And we collectively, individually, there are individuals who succeed at the superficial, the materialistic, win-driven life. But that is a part of our failure too. The fact that we are so steeped in materialism that we can't see how this, and I'm not, listen, I don't want to sit down here and be a hypocrite. As when I say we, I genuinely mean we, I not say uno. Because me spend my entire life, me and my daughter just had a conversation the other day about this. I spent all of her early childhood away from her, driven by the need for material gain. I just wanted to earn and earn and earn. We come from poverty, if you understand. Coming from abject poverty, my one motivation is money. Was money, just money. To get money. If I get money, I will live in a one room. If I get money, I will have proper hygiene facilities. If I get money, we have kitchen with food in it. If I get money, I have electricity. If I get some money, was the only motivating factor. And me a part of that. So me not judge you now, me not cuss you now. Right? And me grew up as a labor, right? So me did tribal too. Me did very tribal. Me not gonna lie, me did green. As me say, for the last few years, as I've been saying, my beard, I'm gonna put on some deodorant. Nobody should be green. I don't think anybody should be red or yellow or orange either. Nobody. Right? We should be individuals working toward the collective good. We shouldn't be committed to a side. And a football, when you can be a Manchester United fan and defend them on pain of that if you want, because football is not an essential item. It's not oxygen. It's not food. It not encouraged by nobody human right. You don't have no human right to play or win football. So yeah, when it comes to football, basketball, you can have your team. When it comes to rugby, all of them something, you can have your team and you can be very biased, because in order to pick a team, you have to have some kind of a bias. You have to be biased in favor of something for attached to the team. And that's fine, because these things are not necessities. But when it comes to the basic necessity, when it comes to people being able to maintain a standard of living, we give them just basic human decency. We just make them have pride and dignity. That is not something that should be negotiated. This is not something where we should have polarized with, so that when we go up on Twitter and I say, me not understand why we number one need a minimum wage. We shouldn't need one. We shouldn't need a minimum wage to be mandated, because it should be our intention that the people who help us to achieve our amassed and hoarded wealth be taken care of. It should be our intention. We shouldn't be comfortable having somebody help us to amass wealth and that somebody not be able to afford to eat, get sick and can't afford doctor. That should be an embarrassment to us. If I had an employee who couldn't just simply exist, me would have feel like dog dodo. I couldn't stand up out the road and be hyped the way Uno hype. Knowing say Uno help her eat out of a different plate because Uno so short-sighted that you're comfortable having them touch all the food where you're going to eat, but then can't eat out of the plate where you eat out of. Even though them are going to wash it. Uno sick. We just need to do better. It starts with conversations that lead to action, that lead to change. I always say we have to be the change we want to see in the world. Well, I'm suggesting an easy way to do this. Start by loving your kids, showing them affection, so that they grow up to be more loving adults. And then encourage empathy in your children. Allow your children to feel other people's pain. Because they're born like that. You teach them to be numb. You actually teach them to not feel. You beat them and then tell them not to cry. You actually train them out of having feelings. And then when they grow up cold and they hurt you, you complain about today's kids. These are not today's kids. These are the fruits of your labor. You work very hard at making them like this. You work very hard at making them like this. This is not an accident. This is not a coincidence. This is not something that happened to you. This is something you did. Uno raised them picnic together. You give them one set of instructions to follow and you do a whole different thing. And they're not listening to your instructions. They are looking at your examples. And guess what them do else? Because of evolution, because of the natural progression that is life, they might improve on whatever it is you teach them. So if you teach them to be an asshole, they are going to be they are going to be the entire colon, lower and upper intestine. They are going to be say everything down they are going to take it from the stomach go straight back to you. You're just asshole. Them are everything. Because they are going to improve on you. And improvement now have no bias. Improvement now have no bias, you know. Improvement now have no class. Life is not like that. Humans are like that. Life itself is not like that. I grew up never knowing food, but my dad did. Grew up never not knowing food. I grew up never not knowing food, but my dad did. He grew up in Kingston, very poor and no food. And did not know how to. Girl, you didn't know. Stop do the double negatives them no man and stop paying up the poor old brain. Did not know how to read. He didn't know how to read and write because of the lack of food. No man, you didn't know how to read and write because of the lack of education. It wouldn't be because of the lack of food. Because no matter how much you eat, you're not going to just simply read. You still have to learn. And this is where the education system and us as a collective fail each other. I wish if people in our culture would realize that kids live what they see, not what you tell them. Stay there. You pick them and listen to you. Who teach kids to lie? The first time I ever tell one lie, the very first lie I ever tell them, I not fi ask. First lie we ever tell? An adult tell me for so. Tell him something there. When you're hungry, you can't learn, which is when you're hungry, you don't focus. You're less focused. Most people are less focused. Some people focus harder when they're hungry. But yes, generally speaking, children are more prone to learning when they are not hungry, because when they're hungry, they're distracted by their hunger. And me can't explain that biologically because that's not my area of expertise. But me do know from experience that when you're hungry, you're less likely to learn because you're just not focused there. So you want to eat. And we're not good at feeding each other. We're really not good at that. You know how much food we throw out? We waste a lot of food, you know. We are an extremely wasteful species. We waste a lot of food. With people right beside we hungry. And I can tell you this. If tomorrow morning me get up and me personally start one GoFundMe and say, me need something superficial. No founder go cuss, you know, and be like, look on him too, but me can tell you this. No founder go also give me the money. Which is bizarre to me because somebody would be right next door to you who need just a plate of food. People out there where we give somebody who don't need anything at all $1 million while one picnic the next to them could have used one 5 bills plate of food. It's bizarre. It's really, really weird. It's weird that you so crave external validation that you can't see the things that truly internally validate you. So that was his point. He started cooking food and dropped out of school. Food was always his priority for survival. Big up him. Because me personally feel like say hungry, having people go hungry should be a crime, you know. I feel like people in our society hungry is an indictment on all of us. People are supposed to hungry. People and people should be comfortable and confident in the fact that they will eat. Even when they don't know what else they're going to do, they should have known so they're going to eat because we as a collective now going to allow them to go hungry. And we all guilty of that, you know, together, all of we. Granted, me can't go feed all of the hungry, you know. I can't. Me can't afford it. But together we can. Together we can. Like if you just do the maths. If you think, me can't feed everybody, but me can feed one person. And if everybody who can feed somebody feed one person, there will be no hungry people. Because way more we can feed one person than there are hungry people. So we must have, nobody not have hungry, you know. But me can tell you this. Me not give nobody no money for go buy no food for nobody because me know say that is also a hustle. So me take my money care can give you thinking me go feed people. If me have nothing for feed nobody, me go straight to them. You don't need for know. Only me and them. You need something? See it. We don't have to discuss it. No tax write-off because I don't want to give it. You are so right. Our parents mold us this way and some of our parents stick to the old ways instead of breaking some of that cycle. We should break all of the cycles and start thinking for ourselves. We so badly need for think for ourselves. We are a gluttonous species. Yes. We are a gluttonous species. Right? And we're gluttonous with everything. Every single thing. We are dogging a manger because we steal that thing. Think about people who pick a man wallet. Out time pocket, out time wherever. Pick a man wallet. Not only you taking money, you know. You taking less money when you have. Where that did go bring him towards more. You take that from him. You're taking sense of security. You make him, you literally take the lift out of his shoulder, you drop his shoulder. When a man's shoulder dropping, it's not really gonna be good. Yes, you have few men who will continuously a million times find a way to prop up back them shoulder. But there's most of us are not going to do that repeatedly. Most of we know we just not have that. Most of we know not gonna lift up a shoulder 15 times. And we don't notice that we keep hitting each other, we keep hitting each other. We keep it, and when we see somebody down, oh God, that's when we want to hit them more. You see the outcome that we have. This is why I don't get into the group speak no more. Me not get into, me not